All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream. We got another fun one planned tonight. Um, Pretty straightforward. We're just going to be throwing this ESU lock sound decoder into this Atlas C424. That's in Livonia, Avon, and Lakeville paint. This locomotive is actually a part of another video that I'm working on at the moment, where I'll be installing ditch lights on it as well. I still need to get the speaker in for it, but we're going to go ahead and get the decoder work done, and that way I can press on with my ditch light install video that is kind of happening simultaneously. You can see here off to the side I've got my ditch lights that are painted and drying, and I'll be able to continue that video tomorrow evening. Let me get my locomotive cradle here, which my good buddy Alex can't roast me for anymore. I've got a brand new clean one. All right, cool. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Let's see. What's everybody else working on? Hey Tim, how are you? Tim, I saw that you got a flat tire on your way home from the show. I hope that you got all that sorted out. That really stinks. But hopefully you were able to get it patched relatively easily. So if there's anybody in here that isn't local to the area, this past weekend was the local club that I'm in, our big semi-annual show at the Genesee Community College field house. We had a record turnout, and it was a total of 1,650 people attending the show, which is an absolute record for us. It was spectacular. We were over the moon with how everything turned out. All right, Tim's done putting module 3 together. Awesome, Tim. Very cool. Can't wait to see how those end up turning out. Looked like you had some nice rigid construction going on from that last community post. So, awesome. All right, I got the sound file programming into the decoder here to the other side of me. So if you see me reach over there to click on anything, that'll be why. Let me just clear a little bit out of my way here. And now that we have the shell off, I can go ahead and pull this off of the board here. So with putting a decoder into a Atlas, an old run Atlas, the easiest way, in my opinion, is just a gut thing. So that's what we're doing. We're going to go with the ESU board that's got a keep alive built into it, so should be pretty nice and beefy when everything's said and done. But the way that I have done these C424s, and I've done my share at this point because I have two buddies, one that models the LA&L and one that models Winnie P. So I've done work for both of them. But the way I end up doing them is I take this back weight here and I take my angle grinder to it and I just basically chop level all the way back to here and then up to here. And then this is the area where I put the speaker in the locomotive. So I'm not going to do that tonight, obviously. Let me get my water out of the way here from the last time I did decals, because that's not good to have in the mix here. Okay, let's see, Tim, what'd you say? Wasn't patched, brother, just brought down a spare. Awesome. Well, glad that it was relatively simple for you. Ed, looks like things went well for the Rochester Club at the show. Glad to hear. And very cool. All right, so let's tear this back weight off first of all, and with it we're actually going to pull the stock LEDs off as well. We don't need those. We're going to go with SMD LEDs that are going to be just glued directly to the light board, or the light fixtures that are within the shell here. I'll probably end up popping them out in order to do that work. I'll just super glue it in LED straight to them, and then I'll go over the top of both of those with just a small piece of electrical tape just to cover them up and prevent any light bleed coming through the cab especially. But if there's any sort of see-through grills in the back, we want to make sure that we're not having any light shine through those as well. But the LED work we'll be doing, I'll probably do myself off camera. Today we're just getting the decoder installed and wired up, and we'll probably throw it on the test track just to make sure it moves back and forth okay. All right. Yeah, Tim's got video clips edited for the show, which is awesome. Any promotion we can get, I'm sure the club would be appreciative of. We're happy with 1,650 people through the door, but hey, who's to say we can't grow more? And good publicity is always a great way to do that. So appreciate anything anybody does to spread the word a little bit. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pop these little tabs off of the ends here of the light board that's on the locomotive currently, and then these truck leads will stay. Obviously, we'll need those on the new decoder. And thankfully, stock from the factory, nobody really bothered to solder anything, which is really nice for when you're trying to pull off the stock boards and put in a new decoder like I am now. This is the same thing with Athearn stuff too. Nice and convenient. All right, fronts are going to be a little bit more difficult to do just because there's a little less space up here, but we'll be fine. We can go ahead and slide this off now. Okay, leads are gone there, and then I just got to do the motor leads, and then we're fully good to go. All right. Come on. They do a good job bending them right around the tabs there so that they get a good electrical contact, which is good for using the stock board, but when you're trying to get them off, it can be a bit of a pain. No biggie though. All right, so we got the new board here. I've done a couple of installs with the new capacitor style boards, but I'm not super familiar with them yet, so I am just going to reference the manual just to make sure that I'm soldering to all of the right places. I'd hate to have something happen where we're not soldering to the correct place. So I'll just put this up behind me just so I can see it. Here's the manual in case anybody else wants to see it. You can pause it and look at everything that I'm looking at if you want to. But everything's pretty well straightforward on there. Because the capacitors are on the board, this is significantly different from the normal style direct boards that ESU does. You've got a lot of your functionality kind of flipped around from place to place, of course. So, all right, so I am going to go ahead and put this right onto the tabs. This is the great thing about the Atlas boards, though, is that you can just kind of use the, stock, I don't even know what you would call these, but you can, well, actually, maybe I don't want to use those because that capacitor is awfully close. I think what we'll do actually is just probably shear off this top or this front tab. We'll utilize the back one just to keep everything in place. And then I'll come in with a little piece of double-sided foam tape just on the top of the motor just to keep everything still and keep it from sliding around. So I'm going to try to get this off here as safely as I can with the X-Acto, cutting away from myself so I don't cut my finger open again. It already happened once, not going to happen again. And actually, I do also have this, which could be more convenient for making this style of cut. This is an Atlas saw, which is really nice. I've enjoyed using them. Oh, this motor is not in there tightly. Cool, 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 cool. Alright, let's see. Is this gonna be more convenient than just taking the X-Acto to it? I don't even know, to be honest with you, but we'll find out. And we're clear. Give that a good blow so that we're not getting all sorts of crap in the motor here. Alright, there's that part of it. Alright. Fillet of finger. Thanks, Ed. Battle scars to prove it. Anthony, thanks for the kind words there. All right. Well, you can tell that the last time I used this, I was not concerned about doing a clean job, so we'll just kind of take the last of that one off of there, and then we're just gonna do, I don't know, probably like a 1/2 inch long strip, and we'll pop that down onto the motor here. Oh, we had a little bit of excess here. We'll pull that off so it's nice and clean. Okay, and then pull off the other side of the double-sided foam tape. Now we're going to make sure that we're putting this on the correct way. Okay, let's see. We want it this way. This is the front lead right here for the trucks. And then, okay, perfect. So we got it the right way here. We're going to just set it down on the one tab that's left and press firmly so that it is stuck in well there. And the next thing we need to do is start tinning our leads and start tinning the spots on the board here that we're going to use. And I also just realized, of course, our motor leads are now on the wrong side of the board. On normal ESU direct boards, they would have been on the right side, but everything happens on this side of the board for these ones. So we'll flip those around. We should still have a good amount of adhesion left on the double-sided foam tape, so we should be fine there. All right, so we're good there. I have the soldering iron heating up in the background here, so it's good to go. All right, Tim, you did a new curve test on your new SD60. Haven't tested the 80 Mac yet. Pulled off the shell and rolled your eyes at the rat's nest of wires. Yeah, trust me. If you go back and look at my channel, I did a ESU install on a old Norfolk Southern Kato SD80 Mac, and yeah, those things are you know, not logically put together, but there's not a lot logical about Kato locomotives in HO scale. Unfortunately, they are just not friendly to HO scale modelers. Even with their new P42s, they're a nightmare because you can't put a standard decoder in them. They have just they have individual motors over each of the trucks, which is a nightmare. And then you have to have actually the decoder that they have is kind of a split decoder that ESU offers for them. Actually, I can show you in the manual what it looks like, but the decoder is literally just an absolute mess. Like this is, I think this is it. No, let's see, which one is it? Oh, they do. Okay, yeah. So this one right here is the Kato board, and it's literally two separate decoders. Basically, it's you know, it's just about as stupid as can be. I don't know why they thought that that was the best way to, you know, wire up and power the locomotives. It's baffling to me. You know, it's goofy stuff like that works in N scale. No offense, Rob, if you're listening, because I know you're a big N scaler, but you know, there's plenty of room in an HO shell, and you know, it didn't need to be done that way. I actually, I think I saw something on one of the Facebook groups about a guy who was not directly involved with the Kato development of their HO scale P42s, but you know, tried to warn them that what they were doing was a terrible idea, and apparently it just completely got ignored, unfortunately. But yeah, let me adjust our camera here. It seems like it maybe creeped a little bit the other way, but there we go. Should be better now. Okay, so let's finish tinning these wires. We've got track left and track right done. We've got the front headlight negative done, or actually that's the front headlight positive that we've got done. These are all of our auxiliary lighting functions. We're gonna just need auxiliary 1 and 2 for this locomotive. We're just doing front ditch lights. So I'll go ahead and get those pads tinned at this point, even though we're not going to be installing the ditch lights or the headlights for that matter tonight. But I'll get them ready nonetheless. All right, those are good. And then oh, okay, Tim, that's real fun. The DCC board is literally cemented to the long hood of the roof. Wow, that is wild. So that's not even just stock Kato decoder in there. Then it sounds like there's some real funky stuff going on there. Which, oh boy, good luck, my friend. I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. But what a pain I'm sure it's gonna be. You can feel free to message me if you got any questions, and I'll try my best to help. Okay, so there is the rear headlight pad. Looks like for some reason track right on the rear was already tinned. Did I do that and forget about it? I don't know. Okay, and then we have, oh, let me get the motor lead just out of the way here. And we have the left motor lead here. And then the next two up here are the speakers, and the two after that are the motor leads. So we're going to go right on down in a row here. Okay. Motors. Okay, and I think that's all I need to do. Let me just take a quick look through the rest of the diagram here. Make sure, okay, I do need to do the U plus common, which will be 1, 2, 3, 4 down from motor right. So, let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is my U plus common. That's going to be the common positive for the ditch lights right there. Okay, cool. So we've got all those tinned. Let me just let's take a peek at what everybody's talking about in the chat here, and then we'll finish up what we're doing. Yeah, Mercy Challenger, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, Finger Lakes has been really a fun prototype for me to model. The first time I went out there, you know, back in, I think it was like 2017. You know, I had experienced Elcos before, but I had never experienced vintage GEs, and I sat there right next to the yard in Geneva and heard the chug and saw the smoke spitting out of those things, and I was like, wow, these are just Alcos, but better. So that's why you know, that's what kind of got me into the Finger Lakes. You know, I started researching the line, realized how scenic it was and how great of a model railroad it would create. And that's kind of, you know, why I'm sticking with it. But yeah, this is an Alco C424 that I'm working on for a friend of mine that models the Livonia Avon in Lakeville. But you might have seen other Elcos from the Winnie P family, or the LA&L family, excuse me, on the channel before. I've got not only my buddy Tom, but my buddy Alex models the Western New York and Pennsylvania as well. So I end up working on a lot of this stuff for some reason. But yeah, all right. So yeah, and I'm willing to fight over those words, Mercy. That's yeah, I uh, I love my GEs, and I'll fight tooth and nail for them for sure. All right, so Tim, someone put the wire down the side of the motor and attached electrical tape. So low. Yeah. Like I said, Tim, those things are just, they're fun to work on, but yeah. All right, so next up we're going to be tinning these leads, but they are very, very long, as you might have been able to see here. So we're just going to cut them a little bit shorter before we tin them, because we do not need them to be that length for what we're doing here. Just not necessary. So what do we got? All right, so I've got the sound programming into the decoder, like I said, beside me here. I'm hoping by the time we've got all of this together, the decoder is set so that we can do a little bit of testing with this. We won't be able to hear the sound because, like I said earlier in the stream, this is the weight that goes in the rear of the locomotive. And, oh, actually, I just realized I have this on there backwards. Son of a gun. Okay, I'll have to flip that around. But anyway, yeah, this is the weight that goes on the rear of the locomotive. What I do with these is I still use a scale sound system speaker, but I make a clean cut pretty much all the way along the length of this so that I can actually fit a C420 speaker in these instead of the C424, which kind of fits like the way the scale sound system speaker works for those is you're supposed to use a smaller form factor decoder or a decoder buddy, and then there's space for it to fit about right here as well. Yeah, so we'll just be modifying this so that we can use a C420 speaker rather than a C424. But anyway, let me get this switched around. I can't believe I goofed that up, but it's probably because I'm looking at the locomotive the wrong way as well. And of course, that means that the leads were actually on the right side to begin with. Oy vey, how funny is that? All right, so now we should be, this is the front of the locomotive. This is where my diagram's showing. Perfect. All right, so we are definitely, oh, hold on. We are definitely good to go as far as that's concerned. So plenty of adhesive, it feels like, left on the double-sided tape there, so we're good. And then I just need to tin our wires. Actually, I got to trim down the positive here just a little bit more. Okay, so now I just need to tin all of the leads and solder in everything, and then we should be good to go. This is the part of the stream that'll probably start to feel a little bit boring because I do need to just, make sure that I'm concentrating at least a little bit on what I'm doing here. Clean that off. These leads actually were tinned previous to this, I'm now noticing, but that's okay. We're always better off to go with fresh solder. All right, let's catch up on the chat here. Oh man, the Chicago, Fort Wayne, and Eastern. What kind of Gs are they still running, Mercy? I didn't know. I'm not super familiar with some of those Midwest railroads. Um, but yeah, the one GE railroad that I haven't shot yet that I'd really like to is the Ohio Central before they get rid of those Super Sevens. But yeah, yeah, Tim, you definitely do need to rail fan the Finger Lakes. It's quite the treat. I can promise you, you'll really enjoy it. um, Closest run for you, because I think it would be. I think it would be probably the Himrod run, which is probably the more entertaining run to chase anyway, and it's nice and slow. You can't really worry about getting behind it. They're only running at I think like max speed like 20. So more recent acquisitions. Okay, Dash 8's bought off the beginning. Gotcha. Yeah, that seems to be the general trend with all of the G&W roads. It seems like everybody's getting GEs now, which it's okay. I mean, it's better than you know Gevos, I guess, but still kind of wish some of the older stuff would stick around. I'm grateful. Seems like the Rochester Southern, which is the closest G&W road and the original GW road to me and Tim, has still kept a lot of the SD45 car bodies, which is really nice. We're you know we've been blessed to keep those as long as we have for sure. All right, so let's solder some leads here. So we've got track right here. We're gonna kind of come in at an angle here so that I can manage the wires over the top and keep everything, under control as far as that's concerned. And then track left is here. Make sure we get good contact there. There we go. Maybe. There we go. Okay, good there. Okay, so now I have the rear track leads, which are this one. Great. And this one. All right. Decoder programming progress is going right along behind me. Yeah, I know, Tim. I wish they would have kept those the Jeep 9s too. Those were quite the treat to watch. They sounded mean as heck too. I just worked on a couple of Jeep 9s for Genesee Society of Model Engineers, the club I'm in, and those are running on our club layout now too, and even the models are fun. They sound really good. All right, so we got motor positive here. This is going to be tough. I might need to use the tweezers just to get my fingers away from the flame. Come on, take the heat. There we go. Maybe. So here's something fun that might be fun to talk about. I was listening to the Around the Layout podcast this morning, or actually it was Tuesday morning, and they had a gentleman. What is his name? I think it's Scott Lister, who is in product development for Scale Trains, and he casually mentioned today on Tuesday on the podcast that Scale Trains is not just considering, but strongly, how should I put it? More than likely moving away from using ESU decoders and towards a proprietary decoder. And I gotta say, I am not a fan of that. I understand why they're doing it. They are doing it because the ESU decoders just do not support the type of functionality that they want to get out of these decoders. I think that I'm guessing here. This is only a guess, but I think that a lot of what they want to do to keep pushing the envelope is starting to do different things with audio and maybe pushing the envelope a little bit more on lighting features. But yeah, I feel like it's a little bit disappointing that they're going to move away from ESU decoders to do that. There's so much standardization that happens, when people can run their entire fleet off of one type of decoder, and to have another manufacturer not see the writing on the walls that people want the same decoder, and instead move towards another proprietary, just when we finally got Broadway Limited to listen to us and put out a DCC ready locomotive. It's kind of a little disappointing, I think. But what do you guys think about that? Is that something that you care about, or is it something that you're excited just to see what type of features that Scale Trains is able to crank out now? I'm interested to see what everybody else's opinions are, because, like I said, I'm not necessarily a fan, but if other people are, hey, more power to them, I guess. All right, so I think I told a white lie. I said I wasn't going to put a speaker in this, but then I realized I have a spare scale sound system speaker right here. That this is technically an Atlas Universal that's supposed to go in all their new locomotives. But with me taking the weight out of the back here, I should be able to use this, and at the very minimum, I should be able to test this thing out using this speaker, which will be nice so that we can actually hear some things. So I'm gonna get some leads soldered onto this speaker as soon as I can figure out. There we go. So let me just get my really fancy top of the line speaker holder that'll hold the speaker so that the magnets don't let it fly away here. Come on, where is it? Well, must have them on a different part of the layout. Let's see what else we got that'll work. Maybe these ones will work fine for it. Yeah, all I needed is a pair of tweezers. All right. And people can roast me all they want for not using color coding for these speaker leads, but it's not anything that I'm really all that concerned about. I got spare wire for days. Speakers just need 2 wires connected, and they should be good to go. All right, our decoder is good in the background here, so hopefully I can get this all wrapped up quickly, because I myself am looking forward to Heath at Human City Junction's live stream tonight, and that starts in just 10 minutes, so I gotta get myself wrapped up here. Yeah, Tim, I hope that that's not what it comes to. I hope that they aren't just riddled with issues, and but yeah, if they are riddled with issues, that'll certainly be what'll happen for sure. Holy cow, I cannot get this wire stripped. Yeah, that would be very unfortunate. I don't know that I think it's gonna go that far, but there is always that chance, right? Just gonna use my helping hand so that I can get in and tin these wires a little bit better without having to deal with loose wires. tin 1. Tin 2. Oh, that's cruddy tin. Try that again. Soak it up. There we go. All right, that one's good. Pop this one out, get this one in. I like to give them a little twist just to keep it all stuck together here. Yeah, I debated if I was really going to stream tonight because I was also really looking forward to hearing Ray Arnott on John Abadicola's podcast, or on his live stream tonight. But you know, I looked at my schedule and, you know, I really wanted to try to live stream installing this decoder. And in order to do that, I had to do this tonight because I've got Golf League starting tomorrow evening. And then I wouldn't even have a chance to get down to the layout room until at least Friday, and I don't think I'm going to stream on Friday as far as that's concerned. So, all right, let's get our leads popped onto the speaker here. And then I always try to solder in the direction that my wires are going to need to travel, you'll notice. And that's just to make everything buttoning up a little bit cleaner of a process. Okay, we got our leads on. And then, so I am using these 2 pads right there, correct? Yes, all right, beautiful. This, for some reason, just took way too much extra solder, so I'm gonna clean that down. And then we're gonna get these leads soldered on. And we're going to go to the middle of the decoder this time so that when we're wiring everything together, this encourages everything to kind of stay put in the center of the locomotive rather than going out to the sides, which can kind of become a nightmare if you're not careful. That lead's probably slightly too long, but I think we'll survive. Nip it off once it's soldered in. There we go. Okay, so that should be the last soldering we need to do tonight. I'm going to throw the soldering iron off and just kind of clean up the side here. Beautiful. Be able to take that out of my fancy dancy speaker holder. And we've got a finished speaker over here, or a finished decoder over here. Let me just give it a quick test. And horn button. Beautiful. All right, so I'm going to pop this off the decoder programmer, pop it into the locomotive, and then we'll just hear a quick test of the decoder itself with the Scale Sound System speaker, and then we will wrap it up, and maybe we can all go over and enjoy Heath's live stream at Human City Junction. So, all right, this is going to be an interesting challenge here. I'm going to try my best to flip the camera around on the live stream so that you can see my programming track. Nobody yell at me for how messy my desk is over here, okay? I didn't plan on streaming this part of, of the process here, but we're going to try our best. You guys are upside down. Uh-oh. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, come on. And of course it flips as I'm trying to fix it myself. Jeez Louise. Sorry, guys. Okay. Okay, before I start this up, let me just check to see what we're doing here. Or what we're talking about here. Yeah, anything that has issues, or anything that's new does always have issues, Tim. And then, hi, race fan. we're about to wrap up, but thank you for joining us. This is all right. Here we go. This is the first test. We're not going to have any lighting functions, but we should be able to at least move forward and backward. So let's test that out. Yep, we got forward. Good. And backward. Okay, good. I might have those reversed, but that's a quick CV fix if it is. Speaker's working. All right, so let's fire this sucker up, and you can enjoy the sound of the Scale Sound System speaker here. This thing is on stock volume, so it's quite loud. I'll probably end up turning it down, but there we go. There's a bell, and here's a horn. Put the drive hold on, and we'll see what happens when we throttle it up. Very nice. There it goes, back down to notch 1. Awesome. I do need to change the horn here. We can do that probably real quick here if I still got the programming information up here. I do. Okay, let's see. I want this to be an M5, so I want 163 to be number 11. So this is the great part about these ESU programmers now. You can program all this stuff on the fly, which is spectacular. All right. Nice. Turn the volume down just a little bit here. Maybe we'll crank the bass up a little bit. These Scale Sound System speakers do have the ability to put out a lot more bass than some other speakers do. We'll just bring the treble up to match. Yeah, there we go. Cool. All right, let's shut her down here. All right, and look at that. We're right on time to end the stream. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If anybody's interested, you know, I can't really do a raid like people do on Twitch, but go ahead and hop over to Heath at Human City Junction stream. I'm sure he'll be starting here soon, and I'll be over there in the live chat. Take care, everybody. See ya.